as founder of story2.com. Give her a warm round of applause because this is going to be really good.
All right. So, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give you a teeny snapshot of where Story2 started, and then I'm going to talk about the future of Story2 and of storytelling, and I'm not going to talk from slides. This is about the future. So I do have notes, but no slides. So what do we mean by the superpower of storytelling? I mean story as both a noun and a verb. Like act, story is something we do and also something that is produced by what we do. I mean story as a system, or if you will, a technology for communicating and learning that is the key to transformative, personalized, global education. In 2010, Jeremy Johnson asked me, could you take your storytelling-based communications curriculum, put it online, and transform everyday communication in school, work, and all of life? Why not? Jeremy went on, make it ubiquitous. Make it something as everyday as LinkedIn or Google Docs. So we went into our early pilot courses with this idea of changing how people communicate and how people learn, and how communication is a thread that drives transformed learning. Our first course was for 38 students in the Bronx. We taught them storytelling, personal stories in the morning, and environmental science, how to write environmental science lab reports in the afternoon. And our first check for understanding was an assignment that they go home and bring back a story about the deep water BP oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. This was in 2010, 2 months after it had happened. 38 students came back the next afternoon, 38 different stories, depending on where they found it, in which part of the internets. Okay, great learning moment. This is a lesson about evidence. If this thing had happened in your backyard, which this is New York, the Gulf of Mexico is pretty close, how would you figure out which of all these different stories is true, is correct, tells us what we want to do tomorrow and down the road? So we used students, we tied students, we tapped into their personal lives, their personal experience to help them sift and sort, prioritize what they were seeing in the news. These were gritty, first-generation students with big gaps they were far behind in their grade level learning. And of everything we taught, this connection between your personal story and the stories of the world you're living in, both what's happening and where you want it to go, problem solving at the heart of education. This was the most important thing we learned about storytelling. Based on our work with nearly 100,000 students online, students from diverse high schools in the United States, plus some colleges and high schools in Berlin, Hong Kong, and Beijing, I'm here to suggest that even though storytelling has this crunchy granola, soft skill ideas that cling to it, there's very strong evidence, our own and other people's, that storytelling is the key to transformative education in the 21st century. Storytelling is our most primitive and most powerful form of communication. It combines analysis and empathy. It holds the ability to inspire ourselves and other people to action. And it provides a proven method not only for individual communication, but for people to collaborate in large groups and produce joint solutions. So throughout life, storytelling informs how we learn. We learn words, and then we learn stories. Johnny runs, Daddy cooks, Mommy works. Change the stories, change the verbs, change the stories. Learning storytelling fundamentals has been shown to improve writing, and not just personal writing, but also analytical writing. I can give you more on these studies later if you're interested. Teaching language acquisition via spoken stories rapidly accelerates learning. Storytelling improves attributes of college readiness, such as reflection, confidence, community, fluency, and metacognition. It improves the mastery of career essential skills, speaking, writing, and collaboration. And most important, storytelling increases engagement. Many studies have shown that storytelling not only improves students' willingness to work for long periods of time, but also their willingness to take on new projects. I think we can agree that our schools are fundamentally broken. Downstairs, they said that public education just can't be made to work fast enough, and I completely agree. But what solutions should we build? Learning is the parts of learning that are easily measured are the parts that don't matter. Learning is about transformation, human growth, human potential, and can that be measured quickly or at all? I think that with storytelling, it can be measured. In the same way that problem solving provides the foundation for 21st century education, providing not only content, but expanding the capacity for learning. Storytelling improves not only our ability to communicate, but our ability to work through problems from where we actually are today, gritty, ugly, messy, to where we want to go in the future. Storytelling allows us to imagine and address situations that are fundamentally new. There are 3 specific ways that storytelling creates a scalable online practice to increase the speed of human learning and transformation. The first is rapid breaking through learning gaps quickly, managing conflicting evidence and multiple points of view, and teaching people to collaborate across differences to solve problems that are urgent and new. The superpower of storytelling grows exponentially the more voices we include in our education communities. Storytelling leverages our unique human cognitive capacity to imagine and create future possibilities, to connect with one another and transform our world through shared vision and shared action. I look forward to hearing your stories. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is. Did you hear me? Okay. So, welcome, everyone. Hello, my name is Sandra. I'm from Berlin, and I'm here today to tell you the story about our Endoctus Academy, how we founded, and what's the idea behind. So, I'm working for a company called Wikimedia. These are these folks who are producing Wikipedia, Commons, Wikidata, all of your knowledge NGOs. And what I'm working for is in operations and recruiting, and I really often had a problem to find really good developers for our tech stack, for our vision, to integrating in our culture. And you could guess that when you're looking for developers for the top 5 websites in the world, it's easy, but it isn't. Because developers have the possibility to choose everything and between everything. So I was a little bit struggling with finding the good people for our products, and I meet Jeremy, who's my co-founder. And Jeremy has background from San Francisco, London, and Berlin, and he worked in the game industry for developers. And he had the same struggle to finding good people. So Jeremy and me put ourselves together and we're asking ourselves, what could be the reason for this? Why is it so hard to get people? Then we get a little bit deeper in the research about what is important for developers or why it could be so hard. Stack Overflow, a platform, Q&A platform for developers, providing studies with thousands of developers a year, and this could be one of the reasons. More than 60% of developers are changing the job after 2 years. When I think about my work as HR person, I onboard them for 6 to 8 months in our technologies. That's a really good long time because we have complex projects, we have complex tech stack, we have a complex tech stack, and we have a complex community. So it's the time I invest and the time they're probably leaving after 1.5 years is not in a good balance. So this is really hard. So it's really hard to find developers, and it's really harder to keep developers because even if you found really good talents, the problem you have is that over 60% looking currently, not actively, but are open for new position. I know it's from my developers, they're getting emails, LinkedIn messages, and a lot of people who want attention to change the job, go somewhere else, earning more money, doing this, working for this impact and situation. So Jeremy and me did a deeper look, and we thought, okay, what is the really important thing for developers to stick in a company, to stick in a project, and to make them stay? What we figured out is before compensation and benefits, or also before office environment, like having a lot of computers, cats, and plants, you know this, the most important thing is personal development. This is the reason why developers changing job, why developers choosing jobs, and also this is the reason why developers stick in a job. So we thought maybe this is the angle we could tackle and really can improve the working and corporate environment. So what we was is asking 50 developers and our people we know and people we work to, how do you learn? What is important for you? Also make some research about Stack Overflow, and the results were that over 90% learned self-taught. So they're not really going as first step to a course or so. What they do is having a problem, going to Google or to YouTube and trying to solve it. The other thing is that they do online courses. When they want to have a new tech stack and an overview, they watch online courses to get a new knowledge. Then they do on-the-job training. They go together with their other working colleagues and try to improve their skills and talking about something. When I think about my developers in my company, they sit together and they're watching together YouTube videos from Uncle Bob. That's a big known developer who's improving their skills and then discuss about this. This is how they learn. They're also contributing to open source. They want to improve software, so they tackle the code with other people and other contributors. So they want to also have a bigger impact in the things they're doing. They also learn about hackathons. You maybe all know hackathons, coming together as a big group, having an idea, solving a problem, and then celebrate it after 24 hours. You find a solution for this. And you also have coding competitions where it's not about winning, it's about speeding up your skills, getting faster and getting better and focusing on code quality. And what you also have is part-time evening courses where they learn. So Jeremy and me thought, okay, what is when we use from each of this the best things and put it together in one big nice process? So we thought about the people angle is a really important thing here. So what developers want and what people want in corporates is having contact to other people. Maybe they're looking for solutions alone, but getting some input and getting an overview what they can do and discuss their solutions. They need people around them. What they also need is online. The advantage of online courses is that you have them available 24/7, and this is the need they want to have and feel. And the advantage of offline courses is your time frame sitting together in the group. You have 8 hours or 6 hours, and you have an idea, you have a learning goal, and you can try things out. You can talk to other people, and then you have you make the most out of one 8-hour workshop day. And this is really good for learning something fast. And what we did with that is that we created 3 big communities around our working workshop processes. So We developed a corporate community you see here. The corporate community is exclusive community of 30 members of the Berlin market, like AWS from Amazon, like Adidas, or like Immobilien Scout. It's a big retailing company in Germany, where we get them input out what is important for corporates in the internal learning process, how they tackle challenge, how they get developers to solving problems they have with their processes, with the code architecture, maybe with their services they have to choose technologies for. Then we also do community building in our student communities, where we have over 200 plus people, where we're getting input from, okay, what is new tech trends? What are topics I'm interested, where I see my personal development? Maybe it's not a mainstream topic the corpus is interested in, but it's the topic I'm interested in, and maybe 10 other folks also. And the last one is the teacher community. This is the very important developer experts, which are giving us input in how to teach, how to bring knowledge valuable to the people in the classroom or people in a workshop. So what we build is a learning community process. So we combine this. What we did is we have created a curriculum with different workshops. These workshops have been offline in Berlin. What we do around is an online community. So before the workshops, we're talking to the people to each other. They can sign up, they can see the names from their classmates, they can talk to the teacher, they are talking about their needs, what they want and what they get, also talking to the corporates and the corporate course, and integrate this in the workshop with the teacher together. And what they're doing afterwards is they have the possibility to network and also sharing their learning resources, sharing the blogs there regarding to the workshop, sharing the YouTube videos, and have all in one big system, so that they have the people experience in the workshop itself. So it's 8 hours. They sit together, they find a solution together, and they can celebrate it. They can network with each other because they see all each other contacts, details. They can share their learning resources, which is really important, have this in a structured way. And what I also have is evaluation about what I learned and maybe where I can improve my skills and where I can keep forward. So we also tested it. And one result was one of our customers, Movinger. This is the biggest moving company in Berlin, in Germany also. We were sending an agile project management teacher to them and their developer teams. And the outcome of this was that not only the people in the workshop said, okay, you improved my personal skills, I know how to plan my daily work as developer, how I can structure it in the team. We also improved the team culture because now they're feeling better because they know what to do and how to tackle all their daily challenges. And what was also a really good outcome that the company is now looking for an agile coach because they saw the value in this topic to bring it into the company on a sustainable long-term way. So this was really good for us, and this was our proven concept that it works the way we do it. So when you want to have any information about this, this is my name, Sandra. You can reach us our Endoctus, Endoctus.com, our Twitter. And when you want to share weird learning experience you have, it would be great because let's make tech education and corporates better. Thank you very much.
We have Jess, who will introduce you to 100. 100 is basically a company that looks around, looking for innovations in education and wants to bring them to K-12 schools. So she will tell you everything about it in the next 10 minutes. I think this is super interesting because at the end of the day, why do we go to a conference? Is to get new ideas, and basically that's what they do for schools.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Hi. So we all know that the world is changing extremely fast, and it seems like education isn't really keeping up with that. This is a projection of what Helsinki City Council thought the world might look toward. Think about what education might be, what they might need to do to get there. Are we educating our students for this world? And it turns out there are really great things happening in education already that are working towards this vision. But the bad news is that no one knows about them. And our CEO likes to say that education is often like Las Vegas. What happens in the classroom stays in the classroom, and that's where 100 comes in. So we seek and share inspiring innovations in K-12 education. We started off by we started as a company that was celebrating 100 years of Finnish independence. So we originated in Finland. And the first thing we did was we went out to the world and we spoke to 100 different people to find out what they thought the next 100 years of education might look like. This also included students. Here's what some students had to say. I think there should be sound. Sorry, thank you. Great, thanks.
Toivon 100 vuoden päästä, että koulut on semmoiset, jossa opetellaan riippukeinoissa, ettei tarvitse olla tuolissa.
Seuraavan 100 vuoden aikana koulu olisi semmoinen miniskilirakennus, johon mahtuisi 100 jättiläistä.
In the next 100 years, Finnish schools should have more like educated teachers, like really educated teachers in specific areas.
In the next 100 years, Finnish schools will be changed completely.
I guess if teachers are sick or something, they can send holograms of themselves.
Voi katsoa ylös ja katsoa siis jotain iPadia.
Siellä oli sama pomppulinna ja hyvä ruoka.
We still have the same basic fundamentals, and we base our studying on those, but the whole core has changed, and I feel like it's going to change even more in the next 100 years.
I think that it's definitely going to be way more high tech, and we won't have books anymore.
Opettaja sanoo, mitä tehdään sillä, sitten sä teet sen, sitten sä opit siitä iPadista.
Toivon, että seuraavan 100 vuoden aikana suomalaiset koulut ovat maailman korkeatasoisimpia kouluja.
So the next thing we did was we did a call to action to teachers all over Finland. We received over 700 applications of innovations happening already. We then contacted an advisory board we had made up of Ministry of Education ministers in Finland, as well as teachers, principals and students, to provide feedback on the final 100 that we would follow throughout the year as 100 innovative experiments. We now work globally, so we use the same model and look outward. So we are identifying, analysing, selecting, packaging, sharing and improving innovations all around the world today. So my role is the global research lead, and so I think I have the best job in the world. I'm really excited to talk about that with you today. So, how are the innovations selected? Well, on the global side, we also received applications from all over the world. We also conducted desk-based research, connected with people, networked at conferences to find as many innovations as possible. With every single innovation that we found, we interviewed the innovator themselves for at least an hour to try and understand better what made it innovative, impactful, and scalable. The main things that we're looking at are in this drawing. So we've got skills. What does the student need to be learning? How might we assess them? What kind of support do the leaders need to bring to education? What do the teachers need to be doing in this situation? And what environments do students need to be educated in? We've looked at innovations and interviewed innovations from over 40 countries, and also from innovations that have spread to over 250 different countries. And all of this has been in the last few months. We've also considered innovation in over 143 different areas of education, from subjects to project-based learning to the 6 C's, anything, you name it. So the 3 main criteria that we're looking at are, first of all, innovativeness. And what we mean by innovativeness is, does the innovation bring something new within the context? We actually announced our first 9 global innovations at BET in January. So I'm going to talk you through some examples here of what we mean by innovativeness. We have Empower Playgrounds. So it's been a long struggle to figure out how we can continue children's studies after school when they don't have electricity. What they've done here in this company on the ground, they've gone and installed merry-go-rounds in school. So when the students are playing on them at lunchtimes, they're generating enough electricity for lanterns to be able to take those home in buddy systems and study together. They have a really strong community aspect, and there is a strong focus on gender equity so that the buddy system has an equal number of girls and boys to ensure that we understand who can be leaders and everyone can be. Impact, does it work? This is one of the biggest questions that everybody asks about the innovation. How do we know? When you're working in the innovation space, you're not necessarily chronicling it in a longitudinal study. So we look at innovations that have provided evidence in lots of different ways, predominantly qualitative. For example, big picture learning. This innovation has spread really far and wide to many different countries all over the world. It's a school model that looks at two main things. When the student joins at high school level, they have an advisor, and that advisor supports them through their journey along with 8 of their peers. And they also do 2 days of real-world internships a week. This has had longitudinal studies, it's got student impact written down, it has many examples, and that's how we know this one's working, for example. Scalability. Could it be used somewhere else in the world? It doesn't necessarily have to be able to be used everywhere, but could it be adapted? I'm going to give an example that hasn't yet scaled. So this is a great video resource made by award-winning documentary filmmakers who create stories that show the world through a humanistic lens and create lesson plans that are aligned to the curriculum. This is just in California right now, but with our help, we hope to help it spread. We then share these innovations with our advisory board. This is the people that are providing feedback on our work. What we plan to do next is share our innovations with the world. So in October, we're launching a web service so that people, teachers, policymakers, anybody interested in education can go on and see where that innovation is being used, where it's being tried, where we have a spotlight, where we're working to try and improve it. We're also doing a world tour, so we're going to major cities to try and help the innovations that we find spread to show that already great things are happening. The rest of our innovations, the 91 on the global side and the 100 experiments, will be written up into toolkits to download all for free. All of our services are for free, and so that teachers around the world can figure out how to implement them, contact the innovations, talk to other people on our site, as well as reach out to us if they want further help. And then the search begins again. So we're going to be looking every single year, and so in September, we're going to be looking for the 100 2018 annual 100 list. And as I said, they'll be shared on 100 Open so that people can upload them, we'll find them on there, continue to do our own research, and continue to improve our research processes along with the people that need them. Thank you very much.